Hello everyone, it's Cookie Lou in Arizona. I wanted to take a moment to make another little video that I think you would enjoy. And I want to upload it on Christmas Eve. Right now it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm about to get ready to go to a little holiday Christmas party in the neighborhood here. My girlfriend Paul is having one. And before I left, I wanted to take a moment to read you an excerpt from my book, Family of Pearls. That is one of my favorites, because it's about Christmas, and I thought I'd like to share it with you as my final video for this Christmas season. Primarily, it's about when I was a child, and my mother worked at a law firm in New York City called Lord Day and Lord, and I oftentimes had to go to work with my mother throughout my youth. If I was sick with a little cold, or my grandmother was sick, or whatever, and I wasn't in school for holiday reasons or illness reasons or whatever, I would have to go to work with mommy, so, and sit and watch her work. And this story is about that, about me being in her, I was off school for Christmas season, and I had to go to work with my mother. And I write about that. Primarily, let's see, where should I start? I'm going to read you the whole thing, but I'm going to read you a little bit about Christmas in New York. My mother became manager of telephone services in a company called Lord Day and Lord. It was a law firm, and she worked there for 28 years until her retirement. I can still hear her answering the calls that rang in on the switchboard. Good morning, Lord Day and Lord. Lord Day and Lord, can I help you? Operator, can I have time and charges on that call, please? Number, please. Good afternoon, Lord Day and Lord. All day long, little lights flashing on and off the switchboard in front of her, pulling out and plugging in all those telephone cords that crossed each other. I never understood how she could keep track of all of it. Somehow I never got bored sitting there watching her. The highlights of the day for me were the coffee breaks in the morning when the goodie table was set up in front of one of the conference rooms. And there would be fresh bagels and bialys with butter and cream cheese, and there were Kaiser rolls, sweet rolls, donuts, fruit pastries, juice, chocolate milk, coffee, tea, you name it, all of it free. I anticipated going out to lunch with my mother even more. Yummy, yummy. Going to work with mommy was fun. It was also the onset of my obesity problem, most likely. As the hours passed, I watched her work in the small room that was large enough only to hold the switchboard, a coat rack, and a small table and chair. I passed the time standing in front of the big window near my mother's workspace and looking down into the gray street below. I watched the traffic flow up and down the street as people walked on the sidewalks in nonstop motion. There was nothing cold about the city or traveling in it. Even though it looked gray and dingy, it had a feeling of warmth for me. It was a place where people traveled to every day and worked at their job to earn money, which was handed out to them like a present at the end of each week so they could pay their bills and buy the things they wanted. I viewed the city as a second home, and the co-workers as a second family that you spent years of your daily life with. The big clock on the wall seemed to tick slowly as I watched the day turn from daylight to dusk. As the day darkened, everything I had been watching lit up with lights. I could see the people sitting at their desks more clearly through the windows. Cars, trucks, and taxicabs crowded the streets. White headlights were driving in one direction, and red taillights were driving in the other. Street lights and neon signs over shops and restaurants were aglow as my mother closed down the switchboard for the night and said it was time for us to go home. We left the building like thousands of others and walked into a mass of humanity heading for the subway. The 1-hour journey on the overcrowded train was another adventure in the big city for me. Being packed into a train with people you didn't know but often saw every day in your travels was not as boring as one might think. I liked observing travelers on the train. I wondered about the lives behind the familiar faces of strangers. Working in the big city was the hustle-bustle part of life, but it was exciting. Holidays in New York could not be beat, especially at Christmas, when Santa Claus was on every corner and the Salvation Army gathered on streets ringing their bells, playing their musical instruments, caroling and blessing everyone with a Merry Christmas. Each time a donation for the poor clanked into their red pots. Every department store in the city transformed into a Christmas wonderland, with animated elves working at Santa's toy shop and Rudolph leading Santa's sleigh into flight. There were colorful lights, Christmas wreaths, and glass balls in many colors. Tinseled trees and snow-covered scenes were in every store in the city. All of New York was enraptured with holiday spirit that encouraged humming and singing with the music playing through the air. As people strolled through the streets holding packages in their arms and wrapped gifts with bright bows peeked out of shopping bags. The window display grew crowds outside stores, dazzling every person, young and old. Parents clustered in front of the windows holding the hands of their children, whose noses pressed up against the frosted glass and stared wide-eyed at the animated scenes performing their magic. Falling snowflakes made the scene even prettier as they tumbled and swirled, making their way down to the ground. Heads, young and old, tilted upward towards the sky, protruding tongues pink and moist. Protruding tongues, pink and moist, were eager to catch the taste of a snowflake as it dissolved away in an instant. These are the things I remember about Christmas in New York. It was beautiful, it was magical, and it was fun. Well, I hope you enjoyed my little story about Christmas in New York. And I hope you all have a very enjoyable Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And remember to enjoy your family and enjoy your friends and to choose wisely during your Christmas meal and just have a wonderful time and remember the reason for the season, and God bless everyone. Bye. Merry Christmas.